As soon as I opened the door, a rancid, tangible odor attacked me, like a falling wall of decrepit building. The entire basement looked as if it was wasting away. A clear, constant contrast to the rest of the house. Heavy layers of dust upon the surface suggest that the basement hasn't been accessed in years. Using my cell phone as a flashlight, I guided myself down the stairs and as I flicked the light switch. Surprisingly, the bulb still worked. The walls looked molded. The wood was breaking down and the stench was putrid. And the entire place was just dysentery. I encountered a strong sense of dysphoria after setting my foot in the room, so I quickly searched around for an old computer with the internet running upstairs as quickly as possible. To try my luck and astonishment, there was an old laptop and a charger in the corner, hidden under some boxes and books. Oddly enough, one of the boxes was one in which said she brought down after I first moved here, and seemed some stuff as I had not seen some of the stuff in a long time. Ignoring the nostalgia, I seized the computer and charger and raced up to the master bedroom. After giving the laptop a few minutes to power, I booted it up and ran on Windows XP. And that was quite the technological dinosaur compared to the modern equipment, but it had a Microsoft Office, so it was acceptable. As soon as Windows finished booting up the system message, a system message appeared on the screen notifying that the new source has been added to the tag video cache, and if I'd like to check it. I've never seen a system message like this before. I know that snooping is a general taboo, but curiosity overcame me. I was taken to a hidden file that required a password to access it. Rolling over my eyes, I moved my cursor over to X out the program when suddenly something typed my password in for me. A bit frightened at this point, I was sucked into the screen. There was 4 videos entitled him.avi, 1.avi, 2.avi, and y.avi. All 4 thumbnails were pure black. Curious, I clicked on the file and entered him.avi. I should have not done that. The video was extremely shaky and grainy. I could barely make out a figure of a man tied to a chair and some sort of metallic rope. A woman moving as if she was floating in air, not moving a single bone in her body, but yet being able to slowly move around in the room. Came to picture. To my horror, she brought out a knife and started slowly cutting the man. The man screamed in brutal pain as the woman slowly cut him into pieces. Blood poured out of his mouth, all his lacerings as the woman dug the knife deeper and deeper and deeper. His clothing was slowly stripped from his body, and after each article was removed, she used a lighter to set all new exposed hairs on fire. Covered in horrific burns and terrifying cuts, the man stopped screaming and now was simply bawling He occasionally screamed out, "Why?" For that was all he could muster. Each time he did it, the woman stabbed him again. She began laughing. The man began vomiting blood and entrails. She picked up the small solid piece of vomit with her knife and slowly licked the knife clean. Giggling like a schoolgirl, she proceeded to gorge the man's left eye out. While he was still alive, I couldn't watch anymore, so I closed the video. Shaken and horrified, I clicked 1.avi. I know what was going on. This time it was a young boy, about 8 years old, bound to the chair. He looked confused and innocent. I shook my head and fell to tears. Such thing was not to befall this boy. This video contained the same quality of the last one. However, the background was much brighter, and it seemed to be an abandoned household, falling apart in ruin. The woman floating over to the boy, much like she did in the last video, kissed him gently on the cheek. She slowly brought heat lamps, the source of the brightness mentioned before, over to the boy. One by one, the entire video was white. After a while, the cameras dimmed, so the boy could be seen again. The innocent look on his face was beginning. Seen in the beginning of this video turned into one of excruciating pain. The heat lamp slowly began to burning his clothes and skin. Bubbles and blisters began rapidly forming on his skin. He screamed in pain, and as with the man in the last video, he screamed, "Why?" and was punished each time by being brutally lashed with a belt studded with pieces of what appeared to be broken glass. The blisters began to boil and the child was roasted alive. Eventually screaming stopped and the boy fell into seizures. At this point the same giggling in the last video could be heard, this time even louder. She took a knife and carved "I deserve this" into the child's melting torso as he screamed. Eventually the boy stopped moving. I closed out at this point.